Blocked my married ex who kept calling and messaging. Now our mutual friends label me unreasonable for maintaining boundaries. My friends think I'm an asshole for blocking my ex, who is married, because she keeps calling and messaging me. I dated Lisa for 4 years, and we broke up 2 years ago. Lisa told me she didn't see a future with me and wanted to call things off. There were many reasons, and I knew it was coming. Lisa came from a wealthy family, and we met in college. Our relationship was great during the college years. However, after we graduated and got jobs, it became clear to her that I would never be able to provide the lifestyle she was used to. She hated the small apartment we rented because I wanted to pay off my student loan quickly, and she resented that I couldn't afford to take her on nice vacations. It sucked, but I couldn't blame her. I loved Lisa deeply, but I also knew she deserved the life she wanted. After we broke up, we still had lingering feelings and stayed friends for a few months. We had mutual friends and would meet regularly. I never hated Lisa. In fact, I cherish the memories of the 4 years we were together. But I was also acutely aware that we came from different worlds and that she shouldn't have to settle because of me. Still, it was hard to let go completely, and sometimes I wondered if I'd ever truly get over her. We drifted apart after Lisa started dating a family friend. I met him a few times at parties. He knew Lisa and I had dated, and though he was polite, I started avoiding her and focused on work. Eventually, I moved to another city and lost touch with Lisa. I heard from mutual friends that she got married 6 months ago. I wasn't invited to the wedding, but I was happy for her. I also dated someone briefly last year, but right now, my career is my main focus. That's what I need to believe. 3 weeks ago, out of the blue, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Lisa. She started with small talk, and we caught up on each other's lives. She told me about the new house she and her husband had just bought and how busy she'd been. I told her about my work and my new life. It was nice, like catching up with an old friend. She gave me her new number, and the call lasted about 20 minutes. Although I found it odd, I figured she might have thought about me and decided to reach out. The next day, she messaged me and sent a few photos of her new house. I complimented her on them. 2 days later, she called me again, saying she was driving and thought about chatting. We talked about my new city, my new friends, and even gossiped about our old mutual friends. Then, she started sending me photos from a recent party where they all met up. Over the next 2 weeks, Lisa began calling me almost every day. I ignored most of her calls, but she always said she had free time and wanted to talk. She started sending me TikToks, memes, and messages, initiating conversations all the time. At first, I brushed it off, thinking she was just being friendly, but it felt wrong. Lisa is married, and I shouldn't be talking to her so frequently. The more she reached out, the more unsettled I became. Was she unhappy in her marriage? Was she just lonely? Or was I reading too much into it? Last Friday, I finally messaged her, saying that it felt inappropriate for us to talk so often, given that she's married now. She replied almost immediately, saying there's nothing wrong with us being good friends, like before. I didn't want to continue, so I told her we needed to stop talking for a while because I needed to focus on work. After that, I blocked her number. She called our mutual friend Jess, crying about how I was rude and blocked her. Jess told our other friends, and some of them called me, saying I was being unreasonable to treat Lisa that way and cut her off. I don't understand how no one sees that it's wrong for Lisa to call her ex when she's happily married after more than a year of no contact. It doesn't make sense. But maybe I'm the one who's missing something. Am I being unreasonable with Lisa, or was it right for me to block her for both our sakes? And if I'm right, why do I still feel so conflicted? Update 1. After I blocked Lisa, she called my friend Jess and wanted to talk to me one last time. I initially declined, but finally caved in and told her that it would be the last time we would talk. Lisa called me on Saturday morning and told me that she wanted to talk to me because she needed help and does not know if she can trust anyone. She sounded awful and I had to calm her down before she told me what was going on. Lisa told me that after we broke up, she met her husband Jason within few months. Jason asked her out for a date in front of her mom, and her mom insisted that she at least give Jason a chance. Jason was a charmer, and they quickly became official. Jason was everything I was not. He came from a wealthy family and had everything figured out. He took her on all the vacations I could never afford, and Lisa loved this life where she does not have to worry about things like loans, money when she was with me. They had a grand wedding, but Lisa told me that things quickly started going south. One night, she was hanging out with Jason's friends and one of his college friends started flirting with her and touched her inappropriately. Lisa was shocked and told Jason immediately. Jason was drunk and told Lisa to loosen up and enjoy the party, and did not confront the friend. As months went by, Lisa found proof that Jason and his friends were doing drugs, and Jason had slept with most of his friends' wives, and it was a common thing in their friend group. She suspects it happened during the time they were dating, and also a few times after they were married. She confronted Jason, but he just got mad at her and told her that she is being too uptight. Things got messy and Lisa told me that there were some instances of physical abuse, thought she did not go into too many details. Lisa wanted to leave Jason and told her mom about it. However, her mom told her that it is too early in their marriage and instead, Lisa should work harder to make Jason happy, so that he does not need to look at other women. Lisa never told any of our mutual friends about this because they all loved Jason, mostly because he paid for all the parties, restaurants, etc., and Lisa just felt very lonely and helpless. That is when she got a burner phone and started messaging me on it. She apologized to me for getting me involved in her mess, but asked me if I can buy her a ticket to my city so that she can get far away from Jason and everyone and figure out what to do next. She could not buy the tickets because Jason had access to all her cards and accounts, and she could not trust any of her friends back home because Jason might know about it. I was really angry with the whole situation, and agreed to help her. I got the tickets immediately and did not email her any details. I only told her the confirmation numbers when packed and reached the airport. She flew to my city and is staying in my guest room. As expected, hell broke loose as soon as she called her parents to tell them that she has left Jason and is with me. She told them and our friends why she did what she did. However, everyone just thought that we had an affair, and she left Jason for me. Jason was really angry and demanded her to come home or they are done. His parents called her to plead her to come back and talk about things calmly. Her dad refused to talk to her, while her mom flew to my city and we all met and she told her what happened. Her mom was more worried about their reputation than what Lisa went through in the last few months. It was just sickening. Lisa is looking for lawyers to file for a divorce, and has refused to talk to Jason since she came here. Jason has not made an attempt to visit her, and initially sent he a lot of threatening messages. I feel he was advised not to send any more incriminating messages to her, and the messages from him suddenly stopped and there is radio silence. Lisa is currently living with me for the last month. She has offered to pay me rent, but I have told her to just save up for any legal fees, as it seems her parents might cut her off. Many of our mutual friends still refuse to believe what Jason did, and some feel we are having an affair. Many of them have completely stopped talking to Lisa and me, and even removed us from their socials. Lisa looks like an empty shell of herself. She was the most kind, fun person when we were together. Even though she keeps a brave face, she just bursts into tears randomly. I feel she has still not told me the whole story on what Jason did to her, but I am just going to be a good friend, and give her the space she needs. I, honestly, am not sure how to feel. Everything happened so suddenly, I never had a time to react and think if what I am doing is right. I don't know how I got in a situation where my married ex is now living with me. I cannot kick her out, and I want to be there to support her in such a horrible time. However, a part of me also does not know if what I am doing is right and as she is still a married woman, and I do not want to be labeled as a home wrecker or a cheater. Any advice would be appreciated. Edit, just wanted to add some context since many of you are asking about it in the comments. Lisa left her main phone home when she left since her husband can track her phone. He was already paranoid that Lisa would leave him, and was tracking all accounts, and Lisa's whereabouts. She did not want to let anyone know she was at my place. However, I insisted that she at least call and tell her parents that she was safe, else they would have thought she disappeared and might have gone to cops to file a missing person report. Jess did not help her because Lisa did not tell Jess or any of our friends about the abuse. All Lisa told me was that she did not trust any of our friends right now. I am still not sure why and what happened there. However, most of our friends have sided with Jason, and he is spreading a false narrative that Lisa married him for money and waited for 6 months exactly so that she is eligible for a significant alimony, based on their prenup. Everyone suspects that we, Lisa and I, planned this whole charade for Jason's money. Lisa left and came me because she wanted to put as much physical distance between Jason and her before she told him that she was leaving him, and of course Lisa and I are not getting back together. I understand the vulnerable position she is in, and I just want to make sure she is safe. Finally, what are my future plans? I am taking one day at a time. I luckily have a very well-paying job now and do not have to worry financially supporting her for a short time. However, I do understand Lisa cannot live with me forever and we need to figure out something as soon as things settle down. Update 2. I think we have some resolution now and, in my opinion, a semi-happy one. After Lisa left Jason around 6 months ago, she came to my town. It looked horrible as I was her ex-boyfriend and her parents and our friends flipped on us. It did not help that Jason, her husband, went around telling everyone that we were having an affair, and she left him for me. In reality, Jason was abusive to her and her parents and most of our friends refused to help her. She reached out to me because I lived halfway across the country, and she just wanted to get some distance from the situation before filing for divorce. I took everyone's advice, and we got her an apartment near me immediately after I wrote the previous update. Her mom refused to acknowledge the situation and called her a lot of names, but her dad secretly helped her financially for a while and she was able to get on her feet. Jason kept on harassing her and leaving nasty messages, and suddenly trying to love bomb her and sending her flowers etc. Lisa filed for divorce around 4 months ago. Initially, Jason tried to fight it and make her life hell. However, Lisa gave all the evidence she had against Jason, text messages, proof of him cheating, etc., to her lawyers and they negotiated with Jason's lawyers for an uncontested divorce. I think all the paperwork is in now, and we are just waiting for the courts to finalize the divorce now. This is where it got really complex. Lisa's lawyers filed for alimony and Lisa will be getting a significant payout along as she signs an NDA and not share the text messages and pictures that her lawyer used as leverage. It's significant enough that Lisa will not have to ever worry about money again. Lisa agreed to the NDA as a clause for getting a quick uncontested divorce. As soon as the news of the divorce came out, news spread that Lisa and I were having an affair and planned the whole marriage charade to get money from Jason's family. I know many of Lisa's friends who are from her hometown sided with Jason and sent Lisa some really nasty messages. Lisa's family also has been harassed by everyone in their town, and they lost a lot of friends due to this. Lisa's mom went nuclear on Lisa and me and accused us of conning Jason. Her dad has also cut all contact with her after the divorce details were finalized. We cannot share any of the messages to prove her side as she has already signed the NDA. Regarding Lisa and me, when I saw Lisa in trouble, I jumped immediately into saving her without an afterthought. I feel the part of me that loved her never went away. I did not tell her that, nor did I bring up dating. However, Lisa came and kissed me when I was cooking, and we just could not control our feelings. Even though we have been romantically involved for the past 4 to 5 months, we have decided to take it slow and wait until Lisa heals before thinking of any next steps. I feel Lisa is in a lot of traumas and we are just bonding over that. We do not know what to do here. On one hand, we want Jason to pay for what he put Lisa through. However, Lisa is now like a social pariah and suffering depression. She is in therapy, and I just feel so bad for her. I would love to get some perspectives on what I can do to make Lisa feel better. I feel she is just caught up in a rock and hard place. I never imagined I'd be writing this, but here we go. Somehow, things have managed to get even wilder, messier, and more intense, but maybe, just maybe, moving towards something healthier for both Lisa and me. After the news about Lisa's settlement got out, the hostility hit fever pitch. Someone posted a long, ranty call-out thread in our college alumni Facebook group, framing Lisa and me as a gold-digging Bonnie and Clyde. Jason's cousin even emailed my boss, anonymous tip, obviously, accusing me of helping orchestrate marital fraud. Luckily my boss approached me about it privately, believed my side, and HR shut it down, but it was a brutal Monday. Then, surprisingly, things started changing. A few of Lisa's old friends, those who'd originally ghosted her, quietly reached out. Turns out, word within Jason's wider circle was getting out about his years-long history of infidelity and some much darker stuff. Someone sent Lisa a redacted screenshot from a private group chat confirming 2 women in Jason's friend group had comparable experiences to Lisa: gaslighting, unreported abuse, threats. Suddenly, people who'd branded her a homewrecker were DMing her apologies, and a few even offered to make statements for her. Lisa broke down after reading those messages, finally feeling the first twinges of vindication. We were stuck, though. Lisa had signed the NDA. Jason's lawyer even sent a not-so-subtle reminder via certified mail about contractual obligations. But you know what else NDAs can't stop? Therapy groups. Lisa started quietly attending a local support circle for women coming out of abuse, and through that, she ended up helping one woman escape a similar Jason clone. The group leader, absolute legend named Marcia, introduced Lisa to a journalist working on a broader story about those NDA silencing clauses in divorce, how they're used by wealthy men to cover up abuse. The journalist said she wanted to keep Lisa's details anonymous, but even hearing her story told, even stripped of names, was restorative in itself. But Jason wasn't done yet. After our last update, he filed a claim alleging that Lisa cohabiting with a former partner violated the morality clause in her prenup, so he could try to claw back the settlement. His lawyer hired a private investigator to tail Lisa for weeks and started combing through my social media for any slip-ups. Yes, I privated everything the moment I found out, but I did send the world's most passive-aggressive Venmo request for therapy snacks. Lisa and I both lawyered up and braced for the worst. Then, boom, one of Jason's long-term side friends reached out to Lisa's attorney with corroborating evidence against Jason. Texts, videos, and a voice note. None of this could be used publicly, but behind closed doors Jason's legal team flipped. They settled Lisa's payout for good, promised no more pies or slander, and even agreed to a mutual no contact that bars Jason from coming within 100 miles of us. Not that we think he'd risk public exposure now, but you never know. Meanwhile, Lisa's dad emailed her. The subject line was about time. Inside, he apologized for going silent, explained that her mother was furious but, after seeing the call-out chat leak, he realized Lisa had no one left and he couldn't abandon her. He offered to match the tail end of her settlement so she could finally finish a long-standing dream project she'd abandoned in college, starting her own interior design studio. She cried, I cried, we had takeout for breakfast. Around this time, our biggest decision happened. Lisa wanted out of this city. There's nothing here for me but you, she admitted. I'll be blunt, she's the one with cash. I have an in-demand job and can go mostly remote. We scheduled a trip and scouted a city we'd both loved when we visited as students, one where neither of us is that person from the scandal-riddled college group chat. She put down a deposit on a light-filled, boxy studio, and I lined up a 9-month work assignment nearby. For once, things weren't reactive, they were a choice. It's weird, rebuilding from emotional wreckage with someone you once loved, then lost, then rescued. There's a tenderness but also a shared exhaustion. We're both in therapy, her, twice a week, me, once, and our relationship is sluau. With rules, weekly solo nights, boundaries about exes/past trauma, a semi-joking emergency, cassoulet jar for crisis eating. Some days, Lisa's still a ghost of her old self, and her random tears haven't stopped. But last week she woke me early because you'd want to see the sunrise in our new city, don't be mad. And I realized for the first time that I'm not her rescuer, I'm her partner. Not in the fairy tale way, but in the way that matters after it all goes to hell. Jess called. She's moving nearby for grad school, so there's at least one friend from our old life willing to start over. 3 different ex-mutual friends wrote sorry DMs to Lisa. Some bridges stay burned, others don't. Lisa's mom remains silent and probably always will. Lisa says she's done trying for her approval. We don't know. Lisa wants to write about NDA abuse, anonymously, for now. She's launching her little studio next month, with 2 other women from her therapy group as her first hires. Me? I'm learning, for maybe the first time, to put my career down and just stand on the balcony with someone at dusk. I don't know if this ends with some cinematic reunion. I do know Lisa saved herself, and I just gave her a hand on the way out. Update 3. I thought moving and starting over would be the end of the madness, but honestly, it's felt more like the season finale before a surprise renewal. New city, new faces, new dramas, but the past crashing through the window just when you're getting comfortable. Some of this will sound totally crazy, but here's everything that's happened, and how Lisa and I are carving out something like a real life together. First off, Lisa opened her little studio last month. The launch was wild. Her first 2 hires, both women from that therapy group, helped transform a drab co-working space into their own sanctuary. They nailed their opening job. A local cafe's redesign went viral on Insta, and they started getting bookings. Lisa was beaming, painting sample boards at sunrise and stress baking muffins at night. For the first time since college, her laughter wasn't rare or brittle. I could see her becoming, not just surviving. But then, as if on cue, the past found us again. It started with a cryptic DM from an old college friend, one of the few who'd stayed neutral during all the Lisa-Jason fallout. The short version, Jason was under police investigation. No, not because of Lisa. Turns out the social group he'd bragged about for years had been on the radar of local detectives for suspected money laundering and, possibly, some kind of insurance fraud. The illegal drug stuff Lisa suspected was a piece of something much uglier. Apparently, 2 of Jason's buddies got arrested for tax evasion, and in interviews, Jason's name came up a lot. Cue several frantic evenings with Lisa calling her lawyer, again, just to be completely, absolutely certain she wasn't going to get swept up into the investigation. The lawyers wanted every text, every DM, every ancient photo Lisa might have from her time with Jason, anything that proved she was never part of his sketchy business. There was a truly bizarre 24 hours where a police officer called to ask Lisa if she remembered any large cash gifts or vehicles she couldn't account for while married. She didn't, and her meticulous memory, and the NDA, protected her. For weeks, Lisa's anxiety spiked whenever an unknown number appeared on her phone. She started sleeping with the lights on again. I suggested we go away for a weekend, reset, just breathe, but she refused to run. I did nothing wrong. He doesn't get to haunt me forever, she said. It was the toughest I'd seen her. So instead, we leaned into therapy, doubled up on friends, and spent sticky summer nights in the kitchen, listening to old music and making up stories about the lives we'd lead if we really could be anyone. During all that, Lisa's work became a lifeline. Her studio took on a pro bono project for a women's shelter. The piece she wrote, anonymously, about NDA abuse finally got published by a mid-sized online magazine. It went semi-viral. For the first time, strangers reached out to say thank you for telling your story. Lisa got notes from women across the country who'd signed silence for settlement clauses after ugly divorces, some who'd felt exactly as alone as she once did. She started hosting small, closed meetups for those women, and the apartment, now ours, because we finally moved in together for real, felt like a safe haven, not a hiding place. About us, it's slow, and sweet, and honestly confusing sometimes. We're still figuring out what it means to be together right now. We both go to therapy, sometimes together, sometimes alone. We still honor our solo nights. I keep bailing on fancy date restaurants for late walks and grocery store sushi, and Lisa's basically addicted to rearranging our little living room every few weeks because design is healing. Some days we're just friends with a deep bond, sometimes it's like nothing ever broke between us, and occasionally the trauma bubbles up and we end up crying at 2 a.m. in a blanket fort. There's no neat boundary, but weirdly, we're fine with it. And then, something unexpected, reconciliation, not with Lisa's mother, who still won't talk to her, but with her father. He started visiting, slowly at first. He helped Lisa assemble furniture for the studio, took us out for the world's most awkward brunch, he offered to find us a good accountant, and once, in a rare, raw moment, apologized over a bottle of wine for not protecting her better. Lisa forgave him, but she also showed him the line, I'll accept love, but not shame. It's not perfect, but it's the most honest relationship they've ever had. The final twist, the journalist who wrote that NDA abuse piece called to say a major, national paper wants to do a profile, anonymous, but with Lisa supervising the content. Lisa is still hesitating. Her life, opened up to scrutiny? Or her pain, helping who knows how many others? She doesn't want her healing process to become content. But knowing it could help women she's met in those circles. She's thinking about it. So that's where we are, not hiding, not defined by what we escaped, but still healing in public, sometimes messily, sometimes beautifully. We host dinners for our little circle here. Jess is a regular. She and Lisa have become almost sisters through all this. A couple of old friends have actually apologized. Most haven't, but sometimes the door gets cracked open, and maybe that's enough. Sometimes I look across the table at Lisa, not the person I thought I'd marry when I was 20, but the person I chose to stand with after the worst years of her life, and realize this whole twisted ordeal didn't make heroes or villains of us, it made us human. We don't have some model relationship, we barely have a roadmap. But we have each other's trust, and that feels worth everything. TLDR, Jason turned out to be worse than we thought. Lisa started thriving and using her voice for good. We moved in together, healing is slow but real, and the next chapter looks, tentatively, cautiously, hopeful. We're still figuring out what this means, but it finally feels like our story, not anyone else's scandal. Update 4. I truly believe things had started to calm down, finally, less crisis, more normal life, new city, new routines. But apparently Lisa and I are allergic to normal. If the last year was fire, this spring was the smoke rising, curling everywhere, revealing what survived, and what was still smoldering unseen. I'm writing this at midnight, the city washed out with rain, wide awake on adrenaline in the sense that maybe, just maybe, we're through the worst of it. But it's been a ride. First, Lisa's studio blew up, in the good way, and the wildly overwhelming way. The viral cafe job led to a run of commission offers, including a quirky request to help redesign the lobby of a boutique hotel. One of the clients was a minor local celeb and posted about Lisa's team. Suddenly, they were doing magazine interviews, and people started asking about the story behind the founders. Those of you who have been here for all the updates will know how loaded that question is. For the first time, Lisa came to me with something that wasn't fear, but conflict, whether to share anything about her past at all, publicly. A lot of the women in her support group urged her to stay completely private, but others argued her visibility could matter, to make space for others like her. One night she just started filming herself, talking, raw, real, unfiltered, about survivors, about power, about starting again where you have nothing, and how forgiveness is hardest when you haven't even finished being angry. The clip never went public, but watching it, I realized how brave she actually is. Then, out of nowhere, a letter arrived addressed to Lisa at the studio. There was no return name, but the handwriting was familiar. It was from Jason's mother. Lisa and Jason's mom barely spoke since the divorce. Her mother-in-law always held her at arm's length, more like a prized object than family. But this letter was stunned. There was an apology for how she'd enabled Jason, admissions about how she'd looked away from things she knew were wrong, and, shockingly, a packet of screenshots. Turns out, Jason's mom had lined up her own divorce and was blowing his wider family secrets wide open. She'd gathered messages, transaction logs, and emails implicating Jason, and some of his business partners, in criminal activity, and wanted Lisa to know she was no longer afraid and grateful. Lisa found a way out. Lisa's lawyer was floored. Apparently Jason's mom had already shared copies with police and press, hoping to help the other women Jason hurt. Lisa never wanted vengeance, but vindication felt astonishing. Her hands shook when she finished reading. All the dignity, all those months of enduring rumors and isolation because she couldn't tell her truth, suddenly none of it was just in her head anymore. Meanwhile, that national paper profile was greenlit, anonymous but pretty clear to anyone who dug for it. The journalist let Lisa supervise the final draft. When it published, something extraordinary happened. Her DMs, her studio inbox, even the cafe's comment section filled with women writing, "Me too. You gave us words." Lisa's story became a rallying point. She ended up on a podcast. Community groups started asking her to speak. She turned most of it down, but the activism bug bit her. One night I found her writing proposals for safer NDA legislation, working with a couple of the women she'd helped escape Jason's network. For me, it's been humbling and overwhelming. Sometimes I'm able to just be a boyfriend, or a partner, or whatever label fits that day, but I'm also her North Star when the panic returns, the only one who knows how much still hurts beneath the thriving. Our solo nights still matter. After the article hit, Lisa crashed for a whole weekend, panic attacks coming hard and fast. All I could do was make tea, order in ramen, and hold the silence while her breathing slowed. But bit by bit, this new normal feels less like we're surviving, and more like we're actually building something together. Jess moved into an apartment 3 blocks from us. She helps manage Lisa's PR requests and is the world's most brutal, loyal friend. Sometimes she chases away trolls on socials. Sometimes she just walks over with donuts when Lisa's hit by another mean comment. Jess is also, this is new, quietly dating one of the journalists who broke Jason's story. There's a lot of dark humor about our drama as unionizing with local media. We're not drama-free. Lisa's mom still won't pick up calls, but her father visits once a month and, in his slow, Midwest way, apologizes for the years he spent being silent. Our social circle is small, some apologetic old friends, a handful of new ones, and for the first time ever, a mix of people who know Lisa's whole story and choose to stay. We eat together on Sundays and sometimes the conversation is about normal stuff, dog memes, whether city buses ever actually come on schedule, gossip from Jess's grad school seminars. But here's the wildest piece yet. Last week, we threw a housewarming. For the first time, we didn't worry who might show up, what rumors might spike, what crisis would interrupt. One of Lisa's clients, an understated, friendly woman, brought her wife and their 3 kids. One hugged Lisa and whispered, "You're why my mom came home safe." If I ever doubted what any of this was for, that erased it. Are we fixed? Not yet. But we stopped bleeding. Lisa's sleeping more deeply, waking up with ideas, not fear. Sometimes she even teases me about my old record collection or how I eat ramen, wrong, apparently. We still have unsteady days, but they don't define us now. What's next? Lisa's exploring joining a non-profit on NDA reform as a designer and survivor advocate. Our apartment is filled with sketches and flowers and, currently, a rescue cat Jess convinced us to adopt. The scandal is old news, at last. I'm learning to be present, to let my own career matter but not eclipse us. We talk about the future, not with promises or rings, but with mundane, precious stuff, joint groceries, someday maybe a road trip, the possibility of family, growing old enough to embarrass each other on the dance floor. So yeah, we're not the punchline anymore. We're not defined by Jason, or our old world, or anyone's story but our own. Turns out you can start over as many times as you need, and some love burns down the past so you can see what you're capable of building in the ashes. TL.DR. Lisa's business takes off, the Jason drama explodes in ways we never expected. Thanks to his own mom, Lisa's story helps others and brings survivors together. Our social circle finally feels real, and our weird little family, trauma, therapy, inside jokes and all, is finally coming alive in the sunshine. If last year was the end of something, now we're honestly starting, for the very first time.